What's going on, everybody? Happy NHL season. It is back. It is for life, is right. I'm your host, Jim Berenger. This is the Full Press Hockey Weekly Show. We were here Saturday. We're teeing it up for you here Tuesday night. Big night on the docket. If you see my eyes going a different way, if you're watching on Twitter, Full Press NHL on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, Full Press Coverage. Facebook, Full Press Hockey, Full Press Coverage. There's a lot going on. We got games. There's also wrestling. It's a big night, AEW NXT. It's like the good old days. But Chris Wassel, Ian Glennon, the NWO members, we are here. Again, I'm Jim Berenger, the voice of Full Press Hockey. And guys, I hope you enjoyed Lightning and Predators. What a game.
Man, you know what? If it's like this every game, sign me up.
Yeah.
That was it started out a little slow. Well, Nashville, yeah. They started maybe the golf cart got stuck in neutral.
Ooh, yeah, a little slow to start. 2 shots through the first period. But again, Tampa Bay, we heard John Cooper say this whole time, well, we need to limit shots. We need to protect the middle of the ice. And if you watched the season last year, and if you saw some of my tweets during the game today, especially after, the first period, well, Tampa was locking down the middle of the ice. They weren't going to let Nashville there, but then all of a sudden Nashville was finding ways to the middle of the ice and was able to score and regain the lead and, tie the game. And the third period was out of control. We had like 3 goals in 5 minutes, 5 goals in first 11 minutes. And Nashville, what are you doing? I sound like a broken record when we're talking about power plays. Stay out of the box, man. Stay out of the penalty box.
All right. Let me explain this in the simplest of ways. Nashville can't help it. They just can't. It's their nature. I don't know. I've joked with this with a number of Nashville people, and we've all said the same thing. There has to be chocolate cake in the penalty box because they're drawn to it. And this has been going on for a while now. This has been for a few seasons. So we have to be honest about this and kind of come clean with it in a way. This is what you get with Nashville, unfortunately, sometimes. And they do tend to take penalties. And when you take penalties and you kind of forget about the guy that's coming off the bumper down the middle of the ice in front of your goalie and he's wide open, that can be a problem. And unfortunately for them, it cost them. It cost them twice.
Yeah, huge problem. Big time. It cost them more than that. I mean, look.
Yeah, it could have been more. Yeah, well,
it could have been more. I mean, but look, you look at it, right? Nick Paul in the bumper. Kucherov opens the scoring. Brandon Hagel on the penalty shot. Like, Nashville, stay out of the penalty box. It's like when we talk about the Edmonton Oilers. Whoever plays against the Edmonton Oilers, stay out of the penalty box, right? You need to, because the efficiency rate of the Oilers, the Maple Leafs, and the Lightning, 3 best in the league. And you saw it tonight, and they just had to stay out of the box. And give credit to Nashville. They found a way to find a way, fight back. They made it 3-3, but dumb high sticking, puck over the glass. The puck over the glass they killed. But they need to get more shots on Jonas Johansson. I know the Lightning are trying to protect him as best as possible, but when they were able to penetrate and able to get in, they were able to score. And Thomas Nosek plays for New Jersey. Thomas Novak had a nice, very, very nice goal. And look, man, if this is what we're gonna see, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this is not a bad opening act, and we get 2 more games, and yeah, we know the one we're gonna hear it already from people. Why is the final game gonna end at like 1 something in the morning? It's gonna be fine. You're gonna live with it. You get used to it after a while. Just deal with it.
Yeah, you gotta just deal with it. It's gonna be good though. I mean, Vegas and Seattle, they're gonna raise the banner. The Cup's gonna be in the house, and everything. So it's gonna be really good. That's gonna be fun. Obviously, Bedard's playing now against Crosby. He was allowed to wear no lid along with the other rookie to come out bucket. Well, I mean, it's his first lap. It's his first game. It's national television. I think he can bend the rule for 30 seconds. You know, that'll be fine. And look, do I tell everybody this? You and I both witnessed Sidney Crosby's first game in the National Hockey League going up against Zach Parise and the Devils. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
expectations. You if you looked hard enough, you can find the betting numbers on goals and everything. A lot of people expected Crosby to have a big night. It wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Sure.
Zach Parise had the big night. I'm not saying Bedard's
Ooh.
not going to score a goal tonight. I'm not on Wednesday, but I could see he doesn't, and I could see Crosby having a big game because I think the Penguins don't want to be the team to give up his first goal.
So you're saying Crosby's going to get his revenge after all these years?
Yes.
In more ways than one for Canada, because we all know what Zach Parise and company did to Canada in a certain World Juniors game many, 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 many moons ago.
Yeah, but that wasn't really
Yeah, I know. We can't.
it wasn't Crosby's fault.
This time.
This time. No.
This
This
time.
time no.
Yeah, this is something that, while we're on the subject of Pittsburgh, obviously this is huge, and we alluded to this on Saturday, and we were talking about how Jake Gensel would be a game time decision, and naturally, Pittsburgh just couldn't wait. They were almost too giddy to announce this
Right,
this
exactly.
afternoon. Gensel obviously playing is huge, and it's not just huge for the people that were smart enough to pick him up in fantasy hockey leagues.
I know,
Okay.
right? How crazy is that?
It's like I knew or something. No, not really, folks. But darn, it makes you look really good.
It does because he wasn't
Especially,
supposed to play in this game.
no, and I'll take the free points, the shots, whatever that I can get at this point because
Jake the Snake Getzel is back.
it's
The
beautiful.
Snake is here. He's in town. And let me tell you something. I'm high on that kid. I've always liked Jake Getz. I've always been a fan of Jake the Snake. And look, anytime I do betting articles for the playoffs, I always say Jake the Snake is the man. But Jake the Snake, he's a cool dude, and good for them for having him back. But it's a tall tale, especially for that Penguins defense. We're gonna see what happens and what they're made of. But you know what? For me, look, NHL hockey is back. The boys are jacked. But it's not only the stuff on the ice, it's the stuff off the ice that's making noise as well. And speaking of off the ice, Winnipeg, wow, shockwaves through the National Hockey League on Canadian Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody who watches our neighbors to the north. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving weekend. I know those in Winnipeg had a nice present to wake up to, or after they were done with the dinner, because you know what, you get to keep Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele. And you know what? Just very, very shocking to me. Both guys signed 7-year deals, identicals, $59.5 million, 8.5 AAV. We had Hellebuck out the door, and Scheifele, we kind of figured he'd stay because Yzerman, he follows Yzerman, and Yzerman was a lifer in Detroit. Scheifele wants to be wants to follow Yzerman's footsteps. He wants to be a lifer in Winnipeg. Dale Howard-Chuck connection. So, they met with the media today, and both men talked about winning. Scheifele, talked about some other things as well, and we're going to hear some of his comments from the press conference today.
That this was your future?
I'd probably say the last few days. Really, getting down to the nitty gritty. You get a lot of time to reflect and everything. So, it's exciting. It's I still don't think it's actually fully sunk in. Actually signing the deal and all that. But I think the biggest thing was seeing the reaction of the guys' faces yesterday, and you're hearing some of the things that they've been saying. I think that's been the brightest spot of all.
Connor said that you guys checked in a bunch throughout the summer, just knowing whether each other's heads were at. What kind of things are important when you guys are approaching this together?
I think like a lot of it's out of our control. I think me and Helly are guys that love the game. We skate together quite a bit in the summer when I'm in Michigan, and just talking the game. What works, what doesn't work, what could make the team better, what didn't go right last year. All of that stuff. And I think that's what I love about him is how much he thinks about the game, how much he thinks about working on his game. How dialed he is in terms of his off ice work, his on ice work. Um, I respect that so much in him, and he's a really big reason why I decided to say.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mark Scheifele, one of the faces of the franchise, the first draft pick of the new Winnipeg Jets 2.0 franchise, and you heard it. Guys are excited, and as Connor Hellebuck stated today, and as Mark Scheifele also stated, as you heard, there's a belief in this locker room now. The culture's hopefully changing. There's a belief in this team. There's a belief in the guys in the room, and I think it starts with Adam Lowry, and these guys are excited to get going, and I think there's going to be a newfound excitement for Winnipeg, and I think it gives the fans some new life, and it gives this team new life, but it comes with expectations now.
Yeah, that's the difference. Can they finally handle these expectations? Because we've been talking about it for the better part of what feels like a decade in Winnipeg. And of course, that's not the reality. That's not the actual amount of time, but because of the times we are in as far as COVID, time just seems to get added on, or things tend to pile up. In the case with Winnipeg, I mean, look, Kevin Cheveldayoff, for better or for worse, still has problems here. We'll see how this all works out. I mean, Nikolai Ehlers came back. We'll see if he actually plays where he's supposed to, according to what we've been told by Winnipeg Press, because this has happened before, where he was supposed to get basically top 6 minutes, and then gradually, as the season sort of winds around, he sees less and less time. So, it'll be good for us to see what happens as far as if there's a honeymoon period, if they're figuring this out. If a few losses happen and things run amok. And then again, look, Winnipeg is not the most stout team defensively either. Let's be honest. Connor Hellebuck has sort of saved their bacon. We used to joke it would be in odd or even years. It would depend on the fortunes of Hellebuck. But this year now with this extension, the onus is on both players here to find a way to lead and produce.
Absolutely.
It's not just produce, it's lead and produce. I mean, at some point you have to either figure out, hey, we have to find a way not to be mediocre anymore, or get off the pot.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Like this, there are expectations now on this team to perform and perform at a high level because they need to make the playoffs. It's no more being in the murky middle. It's no more, okay, well, we're just good enough. It's now there's time. And look, I think there was a belief because of the tone that was set by Kevin Cheveldayoff with the PLD trade, the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, getting Velarde back, getting Kapari back, getting Ajax Alafalos. 3 nice pieces. They're never going to equal what Dubois brings to the table, but guess what? There's now a belief that this team could still compete, and they never and go back to the end of the year. Hellebuck, Connor, Niederreiter, all those guys said we didn't want to be a part of the rebuild. That ties your hands. That ties your hands as a general manager. And look, hey, you know what? Good on them. But now they're in a retool, and they're retooling on the fly. And that's what they have to do. And this is why these guys stays. And there's a belief that they can win. And hopefully, if they get off to the start that they got off to last year, they have to continue it, because we saw in the middle of the season that when things got tough, they kind of disappeared. And you saw it in the playoffs, and Rick Bowness called his team out on about it. Now it's put up or shut up time, because these guys are here for a while. And if there's truly a belief, then you know what? They got to go win now.
Yeah, this is the old adage. Let's see what actually happens, as opposed to what we think may or may not happen. So we sit there kind of like everyone else and go, okay, you know what? Yeah, they went and did something we didn't expect to happen. It's how it goes sometimes. Do you agree with it? I don't know. This is the beauty with the NHL sometimes, or beauty with any sport. There may be something that goes a little bit against the grain, and you just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was kind of really shocking, to be honest. Like, I did not see this coming. There was more talk of Shifley as the weeks went on about him potentially staying, but Hellebuck, he had a foot out the door. I mean, I understand the asking prices were too high, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no team is going to be sending retooling pieces for him, but maybe a team could have gotten him in at AAV of 8.5, and New Jersey was one of those teams looking to get him and upgrade their goaltending, and they still are. But you're telling me Tom Fitzgerald couldn't get him to sign 8.5 with that team?
I can understand why, though.
Right.
Like
I'm not saying the term. I'm saying the term wise. If you could get him on a 4 or 5 year deal at that price,
something tells me they weren't.
right?
I don't know why. Well, I know part of why. It's because our taxes in New Jersey are outrageous.
Exactly.
But still, maybe you go the 9 for 4 or 5 years.
You could have.
But there might be something in the offing that might be just as good and a little bit around the same age. Just saying.
You saying Soros?
There's always a possibility. I mean, look, if God forbid, if the tandem doesn't quite work as according to plan, there is a plan B that is a little bit cheaper
It is cheaper. It is cheaper.
and arguably just as good. Just as long
absolutely.
as just as long as you keep the chocolate cake out of the penalty box.
Yeah, you have to keep the chocolate cake out of the penalty box for sure. You need to. But look, the Devils are going to go with what they're going to go with. The Schmid and Vanacek to start the year. They're still going to look to upgrade. We'll see what they do. I think you're going to have to wait on that. I mean, look, as Braden brought up, and Anthony, thanks for joining as well. Where does Connor Hellebuck rank for you amongst top goalies? I mean, to me, he's top 5 goaltender in the league. I mean, and if you're telling me Vasilevsky's healthy, I think you have to put those guys 1, 2, to be honest, because those two guys can steal you series and steal wins in those series. And both guys have won Vezina trophies. And let's be honest, Connor Hellebuck, I know they gave it to Olmark last year because of what Boston's season was. But if it isn't for Connor Hellebuck, the Winnipeg Jets don't stay in playoff contention and don't make the playoffs last year.
Oh, yeah, by the way, that did not take long, ladies and gentlemen.
What you got?
The Penguins have entered the scoring sanctuary already.
And no surprise.
Is anybody is anybody really going to be surprised by this?
No.
Pittsburgh is off and running. Now, of course, the fun part is, can they seal the deal?
We'll see if they can seal the deal.
Yeah, but yeah, I will say this: the couple shifts I've watched Bedard so far, don't look intimidated.
No, he doesn't. No, I mean,
pretty darn stinking comfortable out there.
No, he looks fine out there. He's gonna be fine in the National Hockey League as an 18-year-old.
I mean, Chicago right now has had the better chances early on here. I mean, yeah, I know it's only 8 and something minutes in, but better chances for the most part.
Yeah, Chicago's looking good. Look, we always talked about with Bedard, you surround him with Taylor Hall. You got a Nick Foligno in there, Tyler Johnson, Corey Perry. Protect this kid. Look, is an 18-year-old. This kid's a monster. There's a reason why he's a generational talent. There is a reason. And he's highly touted. He's going to be fine. He looks good. He trains well. He plays the right way. His skating ability is so awesome.
Nice.
Hey,
that was a parlay that I considered. I saw it on I want to say BetMGM, Jim. I think
BetMGM had that, yeah.
Yeah, they had first 10 minutes for all 3 games. And I unfortunately, because in New Jersey sometimes you can't always get the number that you do elsewhere. And that's why I always say when you're betting to shop around for that reason, or cross the Delaware. Yeah. And it's true. You get a nice number like what Braden chat room got, obviously, because
Dude,
that had to be,
I think that parlay's hitting, by the way.
that parlay's hit, especially Seattle Vegas.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because
I think so.
yeah, Vegas's defense usually. Oh, by the way, Vegas is missing 2 regulars too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, no White Cloud, no Martinez, by the way.
No, but they should still be fine.
Oh, I know, but that will make the scoring go up, which
Oh,
is
way up,
what
way up,
see. That's all I care
way
about.
up.
All
I
I care
know.
about as the greedy soul that I am.
Savage, you sick,
I,
you sick man, Charlie Brown. You're a
hey,
sick man.
I know.
But look, Bedard will be fine. Chicago's still going to be bad, but it's all about the Bedard show in Chicago. It's going to be a fun season, man. And then obviously the other big news on Monday was Rasmus Dahlin, 8 years, 88 million, 11 million AAV, and look, one of the Twin Towers. No, it's not Big Boss Man or Keem. Sorry, folks. It's Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin, and I think they'll get Power locked up. But I like what Buffalo's doing. Look, you're locking up your young pieces, your young core. You're building a foundation. There's not a lot of changeover. Everybody continues, right? You have Kevin Adams been there a couple of years. Donnie Granato's been there a couple of years. You're allowed to put the systems into place. It's not change all the time. Now you have your goaltender, Devin Levi. We'll see what happens this year. And, you're going to go from there. But I like the signing. I know some people are going to say 11 million. This guy's going to win Norris trophies. When the cap goes up, it's going to look good.
Yeah, look, the one big thing, and I won't even call this a red flag because this often happens with players of Dahlin's caliber. They're big. They're feeling things out. They're adjusting. Their game is growing. And yeah, okay, I get it. He took 41 minors last year. I understand that. I know. I mean, I got frustrated and angry, and except in fantasy leagues that had penalty minutes. But look, he's going to grow with that team. You have him, you have Power, you have Tage Thompson, you have a lot of young Casey Middlestat, if he can ever get healthy. By the way, he's day to day.
But when he is healthy, his game has improved under Granato.
Yeah, somebody people have to realize this, how far Middlestat has come from the whole I can't do a don't
pull up. Who
you
cares if you can do a pull up? So real quick, I was talking to a couple trainers about that, right? And training for hockey and everything. You talk with these guys, and you're like, everybody made a big deal about the pull up thing, and they're like, dude, hockey players don't really need to be able to do pull ups or bench press. Like, it's just you don't need to do it. Is it embarrassing that he couldn't do one? Yeah, but a lot of guys can't do pull up. If you really ask me,
it is true.
It's very true. It really is. I mean, look, but Middlestat's game has come a long way under Granato. Jeff Skinner's contract looks so much better than it did because he's performing. And then you have, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, JJ Paterka, Jack Quinn when he's healthy. This team is really good. That defense is a lot better. You add Eric Johnson, you add Connor Clifton, shout out Cliffy Hockey, New Jersey, here on the show. And you know what? If they can get the goaltending, I know you're relying on 2 rookie goaltenders. They have a chance here.
Yeah, I mean, look, is it going to be tough? Yeah. I mean, no one expected this to be easy, but they're a much improved team. If let's put it this way, if Eric Johnson plays, say, how do I put this? Tail end of Anton Volchenkov minutes at the end of his career, where he's playing about
Yeah.
14, maybe 15 minutes a night tops. And he was just getting you serviceable 6/7 defenseman type, impacts.
Yep.
Look, you're not going to have him on the ice against, I don't know, Connor McDavid. You're not going to have him on
No.
the ice against Jack Hughes. You're not going to
No.
have, you're going to, even if you got to play him a little bit less on the road, say you got to play him only 12 or 13 minutes a game on the road. You're
Right.
going to do that because, again, you're trying to, play matchup hockey with him. Because, yes, he's declined. There's no question about it. The last few years, the foot speed's gotten so. It happens to every player at some point. It just happened a little faster with him because of injuries. But that's not the main reason why he was brought there necessarily. Let's be honest.
It's there because they need veteran defensemen who can play because they put Power, Dahlin, and Samuelson out there as much as they could last year, and that wore those guys down. They needed guys that could just eat minutes. That's why they were brought in.
Yep.
And he's going to be fine in that defense. Again, it comes down to Levi. Can he shoulder the load? Can he do it all? Because, again, rookie goalies, how much can they go? Can they do it all?
Trying to think of the last one that I can really
Look, the
remember.
last time I remember the team trying this, it didn't work out too well. I believe Eric Comrie was the backup to Connor Hellebuck the 1 year in Winnipeg before Steve Mason came in. Yep. And then Hellebuck just went off.
It's true. And that's what you have to consider here.
Right.
It's far from automatic. It's a 2-coin flip.
Right.
I like it. I like going for it. I like take a shot here. See what happens. Yeah. I mean, the other ways haven't kind of worked out for them for a variety of reasons. You're doing something a little bit different. Maybe trying to jump things by a year or two, perhaps. But hey, let's be honest. The Devils probably jumped things by a year.
Oh, absolutely, they did, and
it worked. So other teams are naturally going to try it in different ways. Buffalo's way is to go younger goaltending, and see if the more athletic goaltending leads to, hey, maybe making that extra save here and there that keeps a 4-3 game 4-3, as opposed to it going, Buffalo Wild, where it's like 6-5, 7-6. I mean, you had a few of those Saturday afternoon games last year.
You did. You definitely did. They got a tough task with the Rangers coming to town. We'll see.
Hit Carter often. Hit Zibanejad. You just got to hit him.
Just got to hit him.
Hit him and then use the speed.
Use the speed. They have good shots. They have good players. This should be a good game. I mean, look, you got the triple header tonight. You got more games tomorrow. You got Leafs Habs, always a fun game on a Wednesday night. Kick things off on a Wednesday night. Think about this schedule for Bedard. He goes from Pittsburgh to Boston to Montreal to Toronto.
That is something, right?
Who planned that one out?
Yeah, maybe that thing called the league. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. And then you got, obviously, New Jersey opens up Thursday, and they get back-to-backs are ready to start the year. Whatever.
Hey, wait. The fun part for those that are going to have a lot of amusement with this, not the Devils game. How about a Friday the 13th matchup between Ovi and Crosby?
That'll be actually really fun.
That's going to be something.
And it's only a 2-game slate, and the Devils play, and the Penguins and Caps play. So that should be a fun game.
That should be interesting because look, obviously, somebody didn't do their homework, i.e., me, when I looked at the schedule and realized, oh my God, there's only 2 games on Friday. 13. Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed.
But it's a naturally Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday league. Anyway.
I know, but look, there is me who has this insane soft spot for Friday 13th, and I mean, what better way to open the season for Washington at home in what I call the little Chinese restaurant or phone
Yes,
booth,
but
than
it's a great
playing.
venue for a game.
It is. They need better food,
Yeah, they do. It's true.
but that's okay. I mean, look, like I said, you're getting a rival style matchup between. Oh, by the way, two of the oldest teams in the league.
Yep.
According to Cap Friendly, we can now officially say this. Um, those numbers are insane, though, Jim.
It is. It is.
30 and a half for an average age.
Too old in this league.
And you figure, I think, what was Pittsburgh's, 29.5, 29.6? I mean, technically, if you tweak the roster a little bit more, they're a little bit older now.
Yeah.
So
They are. And speaking of Pittsburgh, before we get out of here, it looks like that Jake Getzel, who is a free agent at the end of this year, looks like those contract talks are going to be tabled towards the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what we keep getting told.
But again, anything can change.
Yeah, I mean, all right. For how do I put this for those listening? You can't be right all the time.
No.
And as we saw with the surprise with Darlene I mean, who signs a guy at 8 a.m. on a holiday?
Well, but the thing was with Darlene,
I know it's the news dump. I know
but the thing was, it was like, okay, well, Darlene and Sabres are close, could be 8 to 10 and a half. And then, training camp comes. Why isn't it done? You're thinking maybe Darlene's going to follow in the footsteps of Matthews because maybe go 5 years. But Darlene could still hit it big again because at the time this thing ends, he's only going to be 31. He's only going to get better.
By the way, obviously that wasn't the only thing with all the news dumps on Monday, of course.
Oh, you mean Toronto's news dump?
Toronto's news dump. Cue it up.
Matt Murray, 6 to 8 months hip surgery. Anybody else, they're having that hip surgery in the offseason. And Jake Muzzin, it's unfortunate that Jake Muzzin has to retire. I don't even know if it's official. I don't know if it's officially put in his papers, but he's a pro scout now for the Leafs, and his money comes off the books because he's under 35. And Matt Murray's money goes on LTIR, and the Maple Leafs somehow have a ton of cap space again.
Magic, right?
Magic. Like Vegas coming in on like $1 in there, and then Tampa $2 after they signed Austin Watson.
I still remember that. That was classic.
Look, what the capologist do is amazing. Hard work. We're gonna see. Hopefully, the cap does go up.
Yeah, because
makes their life easier.
$1, you can't even get a cup of coffee anymore for that.
No, you can't.
Man, crazy stuff. Oof. Yeah, as the TVs are going all around. Look, I still remember the one year where I think, what was it? I think it was the Rangers. Legitimately, they had to wait until like 2:59 on the one trade deadline to announce a trade. They had the trade in place. They had to wait because at 2:59 was when they got salary cap compliant.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, there are some just hairball crazy nut bag stories that can't be explained. If you go through a YouTube rabbit hole sometime, you will find some nutty stories that you find on there that are unbelievable, and yet they are somehow true.
Somehow true. It's crazy. But also big shout out hockey community before we get out of here. Big shout out to our main guy, Barry Melrose, battling Parkinson's disease.
Man.
All the best to you, Barry. Great NHL coach, great NHL personality, one of the best on ESPN. Great conversations I've had with him over the years. Just meeting him, he's always loves to talk hockey, and all the best to you in your fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been fortunate to talk to him quite a few times. The 2013 NHL draft, him and a group of guys, we all went to hobbies
Yeah.
in Newark. Now you imagine like somebody like Barry Melrose and a couple other guys, the as I call them, the Mackenzie clan,
Mm-hmm.
walking down the middle of Newark in the summer, and people just looking around like, what are those crackers do? And I kid you not, I think I heard somebody actually say it was kind of it was kind of funny. It's something that you don't take as ever as off color or anything like that. It was really funny. It was well timed, and it's like walk into hobbies. They couldn't believe the amount of food. They're stuffing their faces. They're eating like a bunch of Canadians. I kid,
Yeah.
because they eat like I do.
Yes, they do.
And Barry Melrose notices the sign, the little board that Michael Brummer and company have with Henrik Lundqvist. And he kind of chuckles, and he goes over to Bob McKenzie and says, and I quote, "They weren't kidding.
No.
They actually have it here. I guess they had done their look. These guys do their homework probably way better than we ever could.
Yeah, they do. Definitely.
I mean, we get on, we get on guys, and everybody talks about the 16-game stint that Melrose had it, with Tampa and everything else. But you know what? Barry Melrose is a smart guy, and for what it's worth, throw out whatever else you may want to. That doesn't matter. It is something that you sit there and you go, really, Parkinson's?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You can't beat Melrose, Clement, and Thorne. Those
yeah.
guys were the best.
Oh my! People don't. I mean, look, we're spoiled. A lot of us
We were spoiled.
very spoiled. You had Melrose either in studio or
At the cup final,
or at the cup final, tossing it to Clement and Thorne. I mean, the classic one is the 2003 conference
Yeah.
finals with Ottawa and New Jersey, and you have, for those that don't remember the call for the Jeff Reason goal in the 2-on-1. People forget this. It is Barry Melrose yelling to Thorne that, yes, it's a goal. Yes, it counts. It's not, because legitimately Gary Thorne thought it, A, wasn't in, and B, it was offside.
And it was not neither.
And it was not neither. It looked close. You have to remember, from where they were sitting in Ottawa at the time, the angle was off enough that it looked a lot closer. And you have Melrose in the studio, and they're saying that Melrose is literally banging on the desk. You could hear very faintly audio of the MSG feed when they do the archives. You can hear a tapping in the audio. It's something interesting, and again, it's that kind of attention to detail that Barry Melrose has and always will have, no matter if he's doing it from home or wherever.
Yeah, I mean, look, Barry Melrose, great hockey coach, great hockey mind. Look, he took the LA Kings to, along with Wayne Gretzky and that Kings group, to the '93 Cup final. Look, if Marty McSorley, that's a great gamble by Jacques Demers. In the '93 Cup final, they lost 3 straight overtime games to Montreal, and then they get blown out in Game 5.
Yeah,
by the way, John LeClaire, Burlington, Vermont native.
Yes.
Scored 2 of those overtime goals in that, and then he leaves in '95. Gretzky's back and everything, but look, they weren't expected to I think they were just expected to make the playoffs, and everything kind of fell for them. Remember that year Detroit lost to Toronto. Gretzky. Remember the famous story is Gretzky in the elevator in Game 7, and he talks about there's going to be a party tonight, and Wayne just goes out there and has one of his best games of his career in Toronto, in his hometown, and the rest is history. And you never know. They could have beaten Montreal.
They could have.
But all the best to Barry Melrose in his fight in Parkinson's. And again, the hockey community stands with him, and we just wish him the best. And guys, hockey is here.
We're
First
back.
game was awesome. We're back. We're gonna do this for you all the time. We back, and you know what? It's gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be a jam-packed season. I want to thank Carter Brooks, former Full Press hockey writer, now works the Hockey News for the audio today.
Nice
And
job. Yeah.
nice job with that. We got the Shifley stuff in there, but guys, enjoy the rest of the hockey here. Enjoy the start of the regular season. We'll be back again real soon. Get it. Full Press Hockey Weekly at Full Press NHL on Twitter. Full Press coverage on YouTube. Full Press coverage and hockey on Facebook. I've been your host, Jim Berenger, alongside Chris Wassel, England and behind the scenes. Guys, take care. Enjoy the NHL season because we back, baby.